I don't know why my avatar slumped down like that when I was standing up in the first place, but I don't know either. But hello, everybody. This is episode 39 of Shoot the Breeze, a chill interview and a chill time all around from you and me. I am your host, HeavyDivider. Alongside me for today is, well, he's a very good bartender. As a matter of fact, he's also a very lovable individual as well. And the people he hangs out around with, as well as just a also talented model maker too, especially for whatever he makes on hand to fit the scene, no matter what it is or so, RP-wise, or just basically relaxing in general. My guest for tonight is good old Leon Fireball, or Leon for short, as we usually call him. Hey, but how you been, buddy? And what's going on, dude?
I've been good, Heavy. I've been doing real good. Just been relaxing as of late.
No.
Went on a trip at the end of last month and already planning another one, so...
No, I feel you on hand. I feel you on hand, especially with the relaxation part. Just trying to do the best you can, not overdo yourself no matter what. But we'll go ahead and get started with the first question.
Work these things out.
Yeah, work these things out little by little. But we'll get down to the first question on that I will be asking is, how the hell did we meet?
If I remember correctly, it was 2 or 3 years ago in VR High when we first met.
Yep. That was
2 or 3 years ago in VR High. Back when you were still walking around as an Iron Man, it was kind of...
Yeah.
And you had like your logo on your chest and everything, I remember.
Yeah, it was like the 70S logo that I was a part of a group of. And yeah, I used to walk around as that dapper Iron Man. And when I met you and everything, you still had like an avatar like this and everything. But it was for the fit the RP fit the scene for it, you had like just a regular like fireball head orange tint of yellow, as well as like the
Letterman jacket
from Hotline Miami. So
yep.
Yeah, and at that time too, you were in desktop, but now as I could see on hand base, as time goes by,
it didn't have hands.
It didn't have hands, and now here you are with hands. More opportunities on hand for what you want to work with. So there you go.
It was thanks to that RP that I got my VR.
Yeah.
One of the people in it just gave me their hand-me-down for like $80. I think it was 80.
Well, that's a steal. And
it was
good condition on hand, and it works. So there you
pretty
go.
much a gift. Oh yeah, it's been working for a while now.
I was gonna say, have you been ever since then? Ever since then, have you been having computer troubles as of lately or anything? From that, because I know at one point
things have smoothed out a bit more. They've gotten a bit better.
Okay.
I mean, hell, this thing can somehow run Cyberpunk, but on the lowest settings.
I got you. Well, at least it's working and not like giving you like chunking problems where basically VRC like it just kind of causes you to lag for some unknown reason on hand or so.
Yeah. I know what makes me lag. It's loading models in. It's not like the actual models themselves, funnily enough.
Weird on hand. But let me go and ask my second question on hand is your VRChat origins. What got you into VRChat? Like, was video? Maybe you saw something.
So, I first heard about VRChat when I watched a couple videos on it on YouTube about, how long has it been now? 4 or 5 years. It's been a while. It's been a good while, probably longer than that. But I started off on desktop. One of the first people I actually ever met was Reinhardt, VR Echoes. And that was back before I even ran around as this. Like, I used to run around as Guzma from Pokemon Sun and Moon. And the way we met was I was throwing dishes at him and calling him an old man.
Sounds about right. I mean, calling out Reinhardt.
And that's how I met everyone else, and then it just went from there.
Yeah, just went from there for the most part. And
that was back when Reinhardt was on desktop. Oof.
Actually, I don't even remember him in desktop. Every time when I ever met him, he was like always in VR. Like, I don't know how long ago that was, but I'm pretty sure
back when he was in desktop.
Jeez.
He got that VR pretty quick. He cried when he got it too. I remember that.
I mean, hey, usually you guys shed tears of joy, especially for things that you didn't think you'd be able to get, because you know how VR tech especially is going to get more expensive as time goes by. Like, more advanced it is, the more dollar signs it is to it. So for him, I'm pretty sure it was like a very cherished, moment, just because of something so expensive at that time, he was able to acquire.
Yeah,
so.
The main reason he acquired is because he got it from stream donations.
Hey, everybody loved him. Everybody still loves him. Just as much as, like, everybody still loves you, no matter what. Even if you don't stream much here and there, but still, everybody loves you, no matter what. So.
Yeah.
But, let me ask you about your hobbies on hand besides this game. Now, the only thing I remember putting down is... Right now, I know VR, because you enjoy VR a little bit. I also put, like, multiplayers down, but the one thing I do remember is movies. Because you were obviously, like, one of those advocates of different movies of what you watch. And, but yeah.
Oh, I love movies. I haven't seen too many recently. I have seen the new Monster Hunter movie, and as a person who enjoys Monster Hunter, that movie was actually really good.
Interesting.
I liked it a lot, despite what all the other people say. I liked it a lot, especially with the like tie-in to the Monster Hunter World games and stuff.
I got you.
It even has like a bunch of older monsters in it from the older games.
I mean,
it's really good. I liked it a lot.
I mean, the biggest fear when it comes to like that Monster Hunter movie is the fact that it would be not living up to the authenticness of it. You know, because when it comes to like live action video games, sometimes they don't even live up to the lore of it, or they basically give like
it was very
up to it.
It was very authentic. Yeah, they got the monster designs down perfect. They had like the exact roars and everything from Capcom. They didn't go too much into the, like, in-depth into the lore and all that because, well, they didn't spend much time doing any of that. It was more fighting the monsters, because that's what the game's all about.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it's pretty much all it is about on hand. If it doesn't work with guns, hey, just craft some swords, and there you go.
Exactly.
But besides that or so, I know you also do model making and everything, which I will ask, too, with model maker. So how long did it take for you to get used to whatever style you wanted to work with? Or so. I feel like it practice.
I'm still learning now. Believe it or not, I'm still learning things now. If I had to say, what's one of the most impressive things I've done as of recent? Let me think. I would say learning how to do the toggle system for 3.0 was pretty good. Like I've got it to where in one avatar I can switch into multiple outfits, and it's all still well optimized. And also I have most of my expressions on a gesture wheel now.
Oh, there you go.
Learning how to do that was pretty complicated.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Easy once you learn it.
Yeah, easy once you kind of figure it out, because I know for like very veteran like model makers who've been using like the 2.0 or something. For to be able to switch over to like a 3.0 or so, it's kind of like, you know, trying to rewire your brain just to figure out how does this work here and there or so.
Yeah.
Because you're so used to one size.
I immediately switched over. To start like grinding out how to understand it and everything, because it's something I've wanted for a long time. Like, I need to update this still to 3.0, because I had the idea way back when I was still in desktop and I made this guy. I was like, I want to have like different like sub menus and inventories with like different things, like, you know, a bar shaker or a bar spoon and stuff like that, or like a glass that he can clean. And now with 3.0 I can do that so much easier.
Hey, there you go. Just a matter of like figuring out the not animation, but figuring out what you want to work with, as well as just like for how you piece it all together. It's like one giant jigsaw piece. Jigsaw puzzle.
All the technical stuff and everything.
Technical stuff, got to tighten it down, and then bam, you're good to go, no matter what it is. So.
I've also recently learned how to make my models even more optimized. This is a bad example because of how old this guy is, but I still like him. Like I've learned how to atlas as of recent, and other tricks. I've actually been, like I said earlier to you, I've been thinking about opening model commissions, like for myself, to other people.
No,
but I'm not too sure on it.
Well, all I gotta say is, if you do plan on doing that, I will recommend do it when you think you're at your most comfortable, more than anything else. Like because trust me, there's gonna be somebody out there who basically will ask for a commission from you, but they might not be too specific on it, and it's gonna require a little bit of imagination of what you want to work with here. And sometimes it might be a little bit complicated to piece together. So that's why I say, you know, do it when you're very comfortable, no matter what. So, but let me ask you this first. Okay, this is serious here, but basically, let me ask you this about the VRChat Scene. In this current present time, right now, of where we are VRChat wise, what do you mostly think at this moment?
What do I think of the game currently? I wasn't happy with the things they were doing on weekends as of recently with the whole mitigation and all that.
Yeah.
Especially considering there are people paying them monthly now. Like, they're getting revenue, and they need to focus on, instead of adding new features, stabilize everything they have so that we can reliably get on this game to hang out with friends and do all our other stuff.
Yeah. Just kind of like have stability first before they add anything brand new.
Yeah, because for 2 weeks straight, we had to cancel MA sessions on Friday.
Damn.
Because of those issues.
I see.
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks to hear.
Had to cancel menagerie sessions.
Yeah, I've also noticed that like close to Friday nights are basically like into the weekends or so, where for some reason or so, like even now, which when before this I asked you that question on is it still showing like whatever my status is, because again it showed me offline for me, and I had no idea if it reverted.
Things are still a little wonky.
So they're still trying to adjust the API and everything, just try to get that fixed on hand. And it's one of those things where, honestly, someone brought it up on hand, which is a very valid point, that being there should be like a whole maintenance schedule where basically just for certain points on hand, like schedule like a day where basically, I don't know, schedule like a day on hand where basically, you know, you shut VRC down just to be able to maintenance it, kind of like, you know, with Final Fantasy 14 or like any other MMO or so.
Yeah, they should have scheduled maintenance where we don't have to, like, and it shouldn't be on a day where they know they're going to have a lot of people. It should be on something like, I don't know,
a Monday or Sunday.
Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, Monday something.
Something day that has less activity, if they can monitor to figure out which one would be. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's finicky on hand, but hopefully they can get their act together to be able to do it. Get their act together for what they got to work with.
The game itself is fairly active. There's people on it a lot.
Because people like make models and everything, or just be able to use it for like different activities. Because there's not really that many VR games out there where you can actually implement like an RP element to it, or just be able to have it to where you could just implement something that can get it going. Like, be it a podcast, be it like a talk show, be it like an interview segment, be it like anything else on hand that everybody else can see and just be able to enjoy. So, but let me ask you, since I mentioned RP element, let me ask about the RP scene. Now, you and I both know our first RP we ever done was VR High, but ever since then or so.
Actually, that wasn't my first.
Oh, really?
That was about my second, I think. The first one I ever did was completely on accident. I had requested off of a friend. This was back before I had VR and all that, obviously. I requested off of a friend. I joined, and they're like, "Hey, we're doing an RP thing. Do you want to join?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure. I'll be the bartender." And that's how Leon Fireball was born.
And there you go. Well, there you go. And that stuck with you ever since then. Like anytime I ever meet you or anything, the first thing that pops in my mind, especially anytime I see either that avatar or basically if it's outside like RP wise or so, is basically just Leon Fireball the bartender. Because I'm pretty sure that's also what you're aiming for in real life too, is being a bartender, right?
Yes, I am still. No, currently with everything going on, it looks a little rocky.
Yeah.
Hoping to wait a couple years. Should be fine though.
Well, it should be fine. Give it about a year or so. Once this whole clears up or so, you should be able to apply for something on hand. Just be able to be the bartender you want to be. I guarantee you. But yeah, speaking of, well, as I was talking about the RP scene and everything, on your side or so, RP scene or so, what do you think for the most part? Like, say, for some of the stuff you got to balance out, or basically how the scene is, like, with everything expanding on hand for the most part.
A lot of things are blowing up recently. Like, as you know, Lunacore is being fairly active. We actually have a session tonight. Staffing for that can sometimes be a bit of a grind, but it's pretty good. It's pretty rewarding in the end, because when I get passionate about things, I love putting like effort into them, and I like seeing that effort like reciprocated with good results and all that. And there I've been getting fairly good results, as well as MA, very much so in MA, which is back active again after it went on hiatus for a little bit, and it's been really good so far. I've been enjoying it.
I get you. Is it just you who's staffing with MMA, or is there kind of... Because I know Coffee Panda is still part of it, correct? Or am I mistaken?
No.
Nope.
No. Coffee's
Okay.
not a part of it anymore, I don't think. The staff team over there is myself, the friendliest, friendliest if you know him.
Well, I've heard of his name a couple
Um,
of times. Never met him, but I heard of him.
Yeah. Merlin, Nebula, Dr. Ender, and Sorelda.
Sorrel. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, as long as
that's
it's coming...
the staff team over there.
Well, as long as it's coming back
And it's
together,
coming
just to
along
be
pretty
able...
good.
As long as it's coming back
Mhm.
together, so be able to make whatever stories you got on hand. Hey, that's good. I mean, it's still alive, as long as it's coming together all in
Yeah.
all. So,
Oh yeah, it's more than alive. We're thriving.
Yep.
And I've also heard about a couple other RPs starting to blow up and stuff like Aegis. Aegis is doing pretty well. There's obviously there's Callus Row,
yeah,
that big one.
yeah, it mostly only
And then
goes
I
on
know-
Fridays.
I know about one that Zeshin's doing with some other people that I've been invited to. And I know about the one that you're still a part of.
I'm part
the one that Chaotic helps with.
Yeah, the guild. Well, the RP I'm part of was originally it was the university RP, but we decided that since the
Mhm.
whole
I
school,
remember that.
well, based on what Chaotic's vision was, since the whole school aspect of it was kind of dying out, because everybody's getting burned out with schools and school RP, which is the thing that
Yep.
Zeshin is doing right now. Project F, which is Reese Skater's RP on hand. Basically, we decided to switch it around and turn it into a guild RP, kind of like a not an adventure guild, but basically a guild in the sense of being able to explore around a little bit more and just being able to add some more elements of surprise here and there. So something that would be fitting
Yeah.
for everybody else. So
I remember hearing that. Hmm?
So yeah, something about that on hand that we were doing, and it's growing little by little. It's just a matter of like fitting everything together, but it's still active. It's active. Everybody's
Very
coming together
nice.
with their own ideas, and everything's going well. Hey, okay, I can confirm that on hand. So,
Mm.
but let me ask you about any old VRC memories. Now, when I say old VRC memories, I mean like when you think on the top of your head, like it could be the funniest moment you've encountered, or just like a moment that sticks with you. Like when you think about like anything that connects to VRC to you, friend group, or
Mhm.
like anything like memory wise or so.
I gotta say, I always like whenever I think of old VRChat memories, I always think back to like the original gang I hung out with, like Reinhardt,
Mm.
a bunch of other people. You probably wouldn't know them, but just us messing around and acting like the different avatars we ran around as. It was great.
Now I got you.
Like I said, I used to run around as Guzma. Sometimes some people would be skull grunts, and I'd tell them to go get Reinhardt and shit.
Go kidnap Reinhardt for me.
Yeah, I'd tell them to just go like mess with him, throw stuff at him. It's funny.
I mean, like you said, when it comes down to it on hand, like all it takes is one person to be able to inspire a group of people to come together, or just be able to have like a
Mhm.
moment where you all appreciate on hand. Reinhardt is one of those people, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's the thing too. It's like that kind of person or anybody else is what kind of gets you to stay in the game, like this game in general, just to be
Yeah.
able to see where it goes.
Oh yeah, he
So-
definitely did.
So there you go.
He was definitely one of the reasons I stayed around. Good friend.
Mhm.
Good friend.
Good guy all around. But I was about to say, any other memories that come to your
And
mind?
then
Oh, sorry.
I also think back to VR High because there's a lot of good memories there.
Yeah, there was.
I've never laughed harder in this game.
Yeah. There was a lot of good stuff that happened during that
Like,
time. Remember?
A lot of the clips, like such as you remember JoJo, right?
Yes, I
He
do.
walked around as his cigarette joke.
Yeah, cigarette
More-
joking. Yeah, I remember.
God. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
wish we could go back to that. Maybe
I
one
mean,
day.
Maybe one day. Maybe, who knows? Maybe if there ever is a possibility on hand, just be able to meet up with everybody else on hand, just kind of like share their story here and there. So, we'll find
Mhm.
maybe one day. But until then, I think it'll come in time when it comes in time, when the pieces falling together, for the most part.
Yeah.
Pieces falling together for the most part. But mine. Let me go in and ask you about the VRChat Current Present. Now we talked about like current present as of right now, but when I mean current present, I mean like if you look back to when you first start the day of VRC, by anything like desktop-wise, so I compare it to where we are now. Where are some of the things you're glad the VRC has changed compared to some of the things they should have not changed at all?
They should have never added the tier system. I'm saying this right now, like the trusted and all that. Never. Like I understand why. I don't like it though. It added even more like separation for a while.
Yeah.
Like some people would be like, "Oh, that person is such and such rank. I don't want to be around them."
No, I feel you. Especially when it also caused like a trust issue too, where basically like if you're not
it corrals the player base. Like the new people don't get a chance just because of their rank, just because they're new.
Well, not only that, it's also too that with that group of like, the thing is too, when a game like this gets really popular, it brings in like some interesting people in. Some people are here just to basically do some malicious attempts, so because of that, it kind of screws the whole ranking system. And other people who are here for the first time accidentally fall in line with those kind of group of people, even though they haven't done anything.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Which sucks.
I do, however, like the new invite system. Unlike other people that I've heard, I like the new invite system. I like the fact that it has its own tab now for like notifications and everything.
You good? Okay, making sure, because
I think you can send messages with it and everything though.
Yeah, that was a good idea, because that way, if anything happens, like if I can't get you into a session right now, I can at least just like add a message and tell you. So.
Exactly.
So they
reply and all that.
Yeah, reply and all that. It helps. It helps on hand for the most part. And
then of course, like I said, I like the safety settings. I do like that, like being able to turn off and on different people's like pieces of avatars and stuff. I didn't have that for a while. And I love 3.0. I love Avatar 3.0. So much. It makes things so much easier.
No, I got you. And like I said, it's just something you got to work with. Like over time, you have to kind of like figure things out, but it's also just piecing it together, which may take some time. Maybe it's just taking you to like shake off the gears that you're used to work with and put on some brand new ones. So.
But it's worth it. It is so much worth it.
But it'll be worth it. Yep, worth it on hand. Anything you looking forward towards? Like anything they would be implementing next later on or so? Like depending on what that could possibly be. Kind of hard question to answer, just because
I'm excited to see where Udon goes, because I know there's some crazy stuff people are already doing with it. I'm really excited to see what they do, like where that goes, and I'm excited to see the servers become more stable.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like if the servers become more stable on hand, it would just make things a lot easier in the sense of just being able to do things like having more people in a session or so, or just like in a room without feeling like that the entire room is going to somehow just like crash on itself, or the room itself, like whatever world it is, becomes unstable and just crashes on them. Hopefully that is the case.
I also hope they fix the avatar rating system, because it's not accurate. It's not accurate at all.
What's it being based on now? Because I feel like it's not. Is it still on polygons or like bones?
It's still the same.
Still the same?
Yeah, it's still polygons and stuff like that. It's still the same old, same old. They haven't changed what changes the rating system. I literally, I can have a model go from like excellent, like green, to very poor just by adding one particle system on it that's optimized. And that doesn't lag anyone. They tell me it doesn't lag them at all when they look at me. This one will lag people a little bit though, because it has a point light on it, but it doesn't have any shadows.
Okay.
That's the thing, it's an optimized light, but it's still a light.
Yep.
Lights don't do well in this game.
No, I got you, because it's like weirdly set as like a... I think it's like weirdly set because that's based on whatever world it is, like texture or shader wise or so, it just kind of like messes with it at certain points, or makes it like turn invisible on hand. Because I remember at one point, like, we went to like certain worlds on hand where basically your head just disappears and there's like either glasses there or absolutely nothing.
Oh yeah, the only thing you'll see on this one's glasses. It's terrible on my other like particle head ones, because they'll just disconnect and you won't see anything. That's because of the way some worlds work. Like if they have that, I've noticed if they have that weird little system where when you like die and you like ragdoll down or whatever, that breaks it completely.
Okay.
That breaks the rigid body system on my head.
Well, that sucks. Or it sucks on hand, especially when you have to reset the whole thing, I think, right? Or you just gotta realign it to get it fixed, or come back into the world itself and it fixes itself. Depending on if it does anything outside of it.
It just won't work in that world, but in different worlds, like if I load into another world, it'll be fine.
Okay. Okay, I got you on hand. Allow me to throw a curveball your way. And when I say curveball, it's because when I ask this question, people either have like an interesting answer to it, or basically they're not really into it for the most part. But let's talk about anime.
Okay.
Let's talk about anime here.
Go
So,
ahead.
3-part question on here. But when I say anime, what is the first series that pops in your mind?
First series for me is Parasite the Maxim, because that's my favorite.
Parasite the Maximum. Okay. Got you on hand? Got your hand, because usually when it comes to anime, you immediately think on top of your head. Like, if I close my eyes and think of anime, the first thing that pops in my mind is Dragon Ball Z. Because that's how I got introduced to it on hand.
Yeah, that was one of my first ones too. Actually, One Piece, I think, was my first one. But I think of Parasite the Maxim because that is overall just my favorite anime. I love it so much. It really made me like think and shaped me a bit as a person. That one, Death Parade is another really good one that made me think a lot.
Death Parade. I have actually not seen
that
Death
one.
Parade.
Oh, you should watch it. It is very good, very emotional. Made me cry. It goes over. Well, it's called Death Parade, and it goes over like the human, like, what's the word for it? Not nature. Human nature is Parasite the Maxim. The human status, I guess, is what Death Parade is.
Okay.
Like what it is to be human.
No, I feel you. That makes sense. It's the question, like, what is the most human-like thing for you as a human in general? You know, that element.
Yep.
My second part to this question is, if you ever had like a top 3 or top 5 like anime series that pops in your mind or so, what would that be?
Oof.
Kind of hard to do, but
I already told you my number one.
Yeah, number one. There you go.
Number one's Parasite the Maxim. Series is a little hard. I will say Promare is a good anime movie.
Promare is a good one.
Parasite the Maxim. Oh yeah, Promare is a really good one. I love Promare. It's actually kind of funny because when I watched it, there's like purple fire in it and stuff, and I'm just like, hey, wait a minute.
There you
go. But Parasite the Maxim. Hard for me to think. Parasite the Maxim. Death Parade's up there somewhere. I think it'd be like 4th. Second would probably be Berserk. I like Berserk. Berserk's a good one.
It's like a classic on hand. Like I've seen so many.
It is a classic.
I've seen so many references on hand, or as best, I've seen like some very interesting things from it, no matter what. So some of it's going to scar you. Some of it is just. Some of it's going to scar you. Some of it's going to touch you on an emotional.
Dark. Yeah.
Very dark. Touch you on an emotional level. Very hard.
Number 3 would probably be JoJo, but part 4. Only part 4.
Only part 4?
I like part 4 in JoJo a lot. Yes. My favorite.
I got you. I've actually watched it.
Higashikata is my favorite JoJo, so.
Just don't talk about the Pompadour.
That and the people. That and the people I watched it with made it really good. And number 5. I think this one's probably a split. I think. Probably a split between, I'd say, Beastars and...
I mean, if you want to add both, you can.
3-way, actually.
Or 3-way, depending on what you want.
It's hard for me to choose a 5th.
That's all good. I mean, hey...
Those top 4 are solid, though.
Yeah, it's all good. I was gonna say, either way, it can always be a tie for each one, but all you need, overall or so, when it comes to, like, anime or anything, it's like, you're gonna have, like, your most favorite ones. Everybody's gonna have, like, a different anime series or come together with, like, ones they do enjoy on hand. But overall,
Mhm.
overall, that's the thing. It just comes together for what you enjoy for the most part, which leads me to my last part of this question. That being, what is the anime that hits you close to home? Like when you watch it and everything, it's just like, I feel that way too much. Like you relate to it hard.
Mm. Huh. A character. It's not so much an anime, but it's a character in a movie. Like I said, Promare.
Okay, gotcha.
I relate way too much to Gallo from that.
Mhm.
I just feel it right here.
No, I gotcha. I've seen Promare with you.
Caring about people. Yeah, you did. Caring
Yeah.
about people way too much and like wanting to help in any way that you can.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
not caring if you're called like dumb or stupid along the way, and you just accept that. You're just like, yeah, I'm dumb. What about it?
Mhm. No, I understand fully. I understand fully on hand with that. Especially when, you're willing to basically put yourself out there, even if it means like, it could harm you like mentally, physically or something, but you're willing to put yourself out there just to help somebody else out no matter what.
Willing to put myself out there and be myself and not
And be-
care
and be
what
yourself.
other people think.
Yeah. There you go. Be yourself no matter what. That's the key thing with anything in life. Just be yourself. Don't change yourself for anybody else. Just be yourself. But
Yep.
this leads me to my last question. I'm gonna bring this camera over here because that way, you don't have to move from where you are, and that way, it'll help. That way, you could just basically share this on hand. But my question for you is, what are your goals and dreams? And at best, what is the best advice you could ever give to anybody? I'm gonna back up. I'm letting you have the center stage for this to be able to share whatever comes to your mind.
Okay, so my goals. Currently, my goals are to be myself, serve drinks, change lives. I plan on becoming a bartender because I want to talk to people. I like hearing people's stories. And I want to see if I can assist in any way I can. I like helping people in any way I can. Even if it's just the most, like, small thing. Like, if they go from, like, a shitty mood to a slightly less shitty mood, then I'm good. I did something good there. It doesn't have to be a huge change. I don't have to, like, make their day. I don't have to 180 their entire, like, mood in the moment. And that's what I gotta say for my piece of advice too. Just help people in any way you can. Even if it's the most smallest thing, even if it's the tiniest thing. As long as you help them at least a little bit, then you've helped.
I got you.
It doesn't have to be huge. You can help in tiny ways, minuscule, itty-bitty ways. And it'll make all the difference to some people.
Okay, I got you on hand. I got you on hand for the most part. Let me go ahead and bring this back around. I gotta turn this around just so I can change it. Wherever it went, there we go. Change this on hand, because what I was going to ask you next is, well, actually, nothing too much else after that, but I will be asking chat here a couple questions on hand. Does anybody get any questions for one Leon Fireball? I do have one on hand. That's basically with the whole flame head and everything. I assume you were inspired by the character from Undertale more than anything else, just because of it being a bartender.
Actually, about that, I didn't know what Undertale was until I played this game.
Oh.
Until I played VRChat. I made this avatar actually inspired off of the main character from Dead Cells, which, by the way, hold on a moment.
Now go right ahead.
If I may.
Go right ahead on him.
There he is. If I may, I made this for Lunacore.
All right.
Don't know if you've seen it.
I might have not. Let me see. Oh yeah, I've seen that. I actually bumped into you not too long ago, but I have not. I've seen that.
Yeah, I actually was inspired of the main character from Dead Cells, like the character you play as. This is actually a 3D model of that character from a fighting game, I believe. And I made it into Leon. But I was inspired off of him because I saw his head and I was just like, that would be a cool thing to make into a VR chat avatar. I want to try to do that. And so I did it. I even learned how to model from scratch for that like base that you saw just then. I did that. I put it all together. And I've actually been called a couple of things in this game other than this.
Really?
I've never been called this. I've only like, hey, I've been said I look like Grilby, and I've also been said I look like Warpgate from My Hero.
I was gonna say, based on the base of this or so, I'm surprised nobody has ever called you Kane from Legacy of Kane, that game, just because of how it looks very Soul Reaver like.
Yeah, I get it.
Just the outfit of it.
I mean, with the yeah, I get you. With the bartender one though, that's what I've been called is Grilby and Warpgate. I can't remember his actual name.
So like I said,
yeah, no, I actually didn't know what Undertale was until this game, and then I played Undertale and I cried.
Good. I need to play it. I tell myself this every single time. I need to get a group of people together and just play the game. And
you really should. It's a good game.
I know.
Fairly good game.
I still have it in. Here's the thing. I still have it in my Steam library, and I have not even downloaded it yet. I need to organize a day to be able to do this. Because I know immediately Omega would want to hop on that just because he wants to be Papyrus or whatever one he wanted to be. Because I think he done voice acting for it. Yeah, he did.
He did Sans.
He did Sans. That's what it was. Sans. Okay, but I guess I'm looking here to see if anybody had any questions for you on hand. But I do have one more question that's popping off my mind, and that's basically this: for how far you have come as an individual to be able to form yourself and mold yourself into who you want to be than anything else or so. Are you able to, like, I assume that basically this all also come from like an RP aspect where basically you're able to implement that to make yourself as a better human being, right? Like just learn from a different kind of like outside perspective, right? Especially with like being like...
Sorta. I have learned some things from roleplay. I've learned some things.
And that could also be taken away, too, from anime or anything in general. But for the most part or so, as you grow as a human being or so, are you pretty much going to be comfortable as time goes by for what you want to be, no matter what? Whatever it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna be me unapologetically. And if someone has a problem with it, then they can take it up with me.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, because that's the thing I was worried about, like, with people in general. Like, whatever they want to be in life or so, the most thing they need to know is, are they going to be comfortable with that, kind of thought process, no matter what it is. Because trust me, even if you want to be this or so, you got to change up a lot of things for yourself. Especially when time itself can easily play a factor on, what can happen, what kind of curveball is going to be thrown your way or so.
Oh yeah, people change all the time. Change is just part of being a person.
Yeah, it is.
You're gonna change throughout your life, and if people get angry at you for that, that's just them.
I see.
That's their issue.
No, I got you.
You're going to change as you learn and as you go through experiences and as you live. It's just gonna happen.
Definitely.
That's just what happens with people. They learn, they grow.
And hopefully they find the comfort they're looking for more than anything else. For who they choose to be. From the Iron Giant movie, you are who you choose to be. You choose. So, but I don't have any questions from the looks of it on chat-wise or so. So I will say that will. If my hands will stop being weird. But that will be episode 39 of Shoot the Breeze.